What is up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the Dread Pirate Dr. Disaster, and the Netflix series that were made by Shankar, where he turns video game properties into cartoons, have been pretty damned insufferable.
I hate your face.
I only made it through the first season of the Castlevania show because I found it to be boring and tedious as hell, but everything that I've seen about the latter seasons tells me that I made a good decision to stop watching. They have completely subverted the IP, making the church into a corrupt institution. They, the church, are the irredeemable bad guys in it, and Dracula is portrayed as being at least somewhat justified in attacking because he's getting revenge for the death of his wife. This is yet another woke reinterpretation of a franchise where the obviously evil entity is shown in a sympathetic light.
I am profoundly unimpressed.
Devil May Cry was the same old shit where the demons are portrayed sympathetically, and it feels like the entire purpose of the show is to subvert expectations. It is with this context in mind that I am very disappointed to announce that the same guy who made these two shows has gotten the rights to make a Duke Nukem cartoon.
What prison is this?
Now, as someone who is a big fan of Duke Nukem, I'm old enough to have played the original two games on PC back in the early 90s, and I logged countless hours with my friends playing Duke Nukem 64 back in the day, but as someone who loves everything about the franchise and what it is supposed to be, there is no creator I can think of more ill-suited to adapt this franchise than Shankar. The artwork in his shows has been solid, I will give him that, but the only thing this guy has shown he can do with these video game properties, at least from a story standpoint, is attempt to subvert viewer expectations. He always attempts to sophisticate his material, adapting IPs to a modern audience, and that approach is simply antithetical to Duke Nukem. The extent of the character's sophistication was always taking lines from classic movies and TV shows like this.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hail to the king, baby.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and I've begun uploading some content over onto Rumble as well, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster on that site too. In any case, let's take a gander at this Duke Nukem scenario. This article here from Esquire features an interview with Shankar, and right here is where we learn that he now has the rights to the franchise. As you can see, he was asked, "What do you have coming next?" And he answered, "I got video games in production, obviously more Devil May Cry. I'm being approached with different IPs and companies that want to work with me. I bought the rights to Duke Nukem, not the gaming rights, but I bought it from Gearbox." And then the interviewer asked, "What's your vision for Duke Nukem?" And the guy replied, "It's a middle finger to everybody. When Duke Nukem blew up, a bunch of people sat around trying to turn it into a brand when it's just a middle finger. Duke Nukem can't be made by a corporation because the moment a corporation makes Duke Nukem, it's no longer Duke Nukem. I don't intend on having anyone tell me what to do on this one, and to be honest, this isn't the worst answer in the world when it comes to this property, because Duke Nukem is, in fact, a massive middle finger to the big corporate machines that were taking over in the 90s and pushing politically correct garbage that ripped the humanity out of life and made everyone want to vomit. That stuff was in its infancy back then. Today, it's become a part of our everyday life. You've got people running around who were practically raised by corporations and behave as if politically correct language is actually cool. But Duke Nukem was an answer to that mentality. He was a gun-toting, bloodlusting, womanizing badass who cracked one-liners constantly and made the language police cry salty tears into their little soy lattes. So, Adi Shankar is absolutely correct in his assessment when he says that a corporation literally cannot properly make Duke Nukem. This is one IP that they will never be able to successfully commoditize and transform into a soulless cash grab. In this way, he is correct, and on the one hand, that gives me at least a sliver of hope that maybe he gets it. The problem is this, though. Adi Shankar is the machine. He perfectly represents everything that corporate America has wanted to foist onto us. He represents the subversive messaging that these schmucks have tried pushing onto us. He's kinda like Rage Against the Machine, the band that was all about fighting against the so-called evil corruption of America and its government until the stuff and the people that they advocated for became the de facto rulers of the country. Now, they might as well be called Rage on behalf of the machine. And Adi Shankar reminds me an awful lot of that. The dude's stories are intentionally as subversive as hell, to the point that if he actually played something straight and told a story the way that it was originally intended to be told, then that would actually subvert my expectations. I mean, I'm going into this Duke Nukem news assuming that Duke will no longer be all about ogling girls in bikinis and womanizing. They will turn him into a member of the LGBT community, and a majority of the one-liners that he throws out there will be meant to shit on straight guys who used to love Duke Nukem. That is the sort of thing that someone like Adi Shankar would think to do when he describes Duke Nukem as a franchise which gives people the middle finger. He sees it as a way of telling people with power to go to hell. And who is it that jackasses like this have been brainwashed into believing is the ultimate evil with all the power? That's right, folks, the straight white dudes. So maybe this won't be literally what happens in his rendition of Duke Nukem, but I certainly expect that this will be the spirit of it. He will view it as a way of giving a middle finger to the people that he has been taught to hate. But the most obvious thing that this guy will do with the story is make the aliens that Duke Nukem fights against into sympathetic victims who were bullied by the American government or something like that. And Duke will still fight the aliens because he has no choice, but we will be meant to sympathize with the aliens and recognize that the government is the actual bad guy, and more specifically, the straight white males who support that government. It's pretty hard to imagine him doing anything else, and for someone like me, who followed this character long before Gearbox got their wretched paws on it, but for someone like me, this will be like watching an old friend get drawn and quartered by someone with no freaking clue what they're doing. Hail to the king, baby. May he rest in peace. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your contempt for this sort of reimagining of beloved characters and IPs into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.